Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Friday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com. Well, so far, stock index futures are currently trading below fair value. Some of that has to do with Dell, which is down 6 or 8% in the pre market, so still on a daily sell signal, no change there. Now, we are coming into a 3-day long weekend, so trading should taper off after lunch. We do have some inflation numbers coming out at 8:30 this morning that could certainly change the direction of the market, but so far it looks like the market wants to do a little selling at the open on Friday morning. Now, this week has been all about Nvidia, and yesterday there was a bit of volatility, but not as much as people were expecting. I think the options traders were expecting a move either 6% up or down. And we really didn't get that. So still looking for a close on Friday below $176.18. Now we are trading lower in the pre-market this morning, but around the $178 level. So not enough to generate a sell signal right now. Now, considering that yesterday we were down just 0.79%, the average true range for NVIDIA right now is 2.71%. So very small move yesterday, considering what could have happened. Canadian banks, the ETF hit a new high yesterday, hitting our $50 target. So cha-ching, you got to lock in some profits there. A big update for CIBC, but the TD Bank had a huge volatility day yesterday and ended the day on a sell signal. So it came down, landed on the 50-day moving average and stopped there. You can see where the 100 and the 200-day moving averages are, and they could be potential targets to the downside if the TD Bank continues to move lower. Obviously, a lot of confusion yesterday when you see a bar that's that wide. We had buyers in there just up under $110 yesterday, and it quickly sold off and closed down at the $100 level on the nose. Moving on to the VIX, the fear index, as I mentioned previously, we're going to be watching for a breakout above the flypaper channel to tell us that the market is changing direction. We'll also be watching for the VIX ETFs to generate buy signals, and if that happens, I will certainly be a buyer. Looking at the world of Bitcoin, it is trading lower in the pre-market this morning. Now, the other day we had a reversal day, so we started to break down below our price target here, and that became a bullish reversal day. But so far, we haven't seen a lot of movement to the upside since then. And so we'll be looking to see if that recent low holds. Otherwise, Ethereum is still on a buy signal here. So we're looking for a close basically below 4,300 on Friday to give us a sell signal. If you want to give Ethereum a little more room, you could look at the midterm chart and you can see that the tether line is just above the $4,000 level. So that could give you a little more room if that's what you're looking for your Ethereum trade. Looking at the major index ETFs, and we'll start off with some minor index ETFs, and those are the marijuana ETFs that were up again. And so on our list of the ETFs we cover, the marijuana ETFs can often show up at the top or the bottom of the list. And the reason for that, of course, is the volatility. And so the average true range on this ETF at the present time is 3.65%. You compare that to the rest of the market, looking at the Canadian market, 0.58%, looking at the Vanguard Total Market ETF in the US, 0.75%. So the American market's a little more volatile than the Canadian market right now, but compare that to the marijuana ETFs. They're dramatically different when it comes to volatility. And so that's why they often show up at the top or the bottom of our list. And of course, they are not major ETFs, they are minor ETFs. So looking at the Vanguard Total Market ETF, we hit our next price target yesterday. We got as high as $320.40. And so if you had an order in up there, that got filled yesterday. Congratulations. Looking at the NASDAQ 100, it is back on a buy signal as of Thursday's close. I would personally sit on my hands and wait for the next close above the upper channel line. The Russell 2000 continued to move higher on Thursday. It has not hit our next price target yet. It getting pretty close. We got as high as $236.97. So 53 cents away from hitting our next price target. Hopefully you had an order in just below that level yesterday. And then the microcap ETF hit our next price target of 143.75. We got as high as 143.86. So if you had an order in up there, it got filled. Congratulations, you locked in some profits. Looking at the U.S. most actives from Thursday's trading action, starting off, it's NVIDIA is the big winner, of course. We're still in a range here, trying to break down below 175 or break out above 187.50. You can see on a midterm chart, we're looking for a close on Friday below $170. The tether line is just below that level. So just when you're eyeballing it, that's all you need. And so it does not look like we're going to get anywhere near that on Friday. Next up, we've got Open Door still on a buy signal inside day on Thursday. No joy for Lucid, looking for a close above $2.17 on Friday to give us a buy signal. Still trying to hold 195. If that breaks, then 176 and 156 are potential targets to the downside. There's Rigetti back on a buy signal as of Thursday's close. Looking at NEO, it is still on a buy signal here. No change. No change for SoFi, still on a buy signal here. No change for Tesla. Tesla has still not broken out above the June high. Looking to see if that could happen. Otherwise, we're holding the 343.75 level at the present time. We did trade below it yesterday, but did not close below it. Then looking at American Airlines, still on a buy signal here. No change. No change for SoundHound, still on a sell signal. No change for Intel. Intel still dealing with $25. We closed at $24.93. Now, when I talk about $25, what you have to do is take a look at the weekly chart here, and you can see that $25 has been a major obstacle for Intel over the past year or so. And, we have dipped above it several times, which we've done in the past, but we have not broken away from $25 just yet. If we can, 31.25 is our next mathematical target. And if you go to the left here, you'll see that that is a wall of resistance for Intel. So if you're long Intel or you're thinking about being involved in Intel, 31.25 is the next target to the upside. Then looking at Palantir, no change in trend there, still on a sell signal going into Friday's trading action. Looking at the TSX most actives, and the number one was TD Bank, which we talked about, is back on a sell signal as of Thursday's close. The marijuana stocks were up sharply yesterday. There's Canopy Growth heading towards 273, which is where we topped out back in May. If we can take that out, then 313 is our next target. Canadian Natural Resources still on a buy signal, no change there. No change for Tilray, still on a buy signal, of course. And then there's Suncor making a new high for this move on Thursday. We've got Manulife back on a buy signal here. Not really that interested in it. You can see that since we topped back here, we've made a series of lower highs. So I'm really looking for a breakout above the flypaper channel before I would be interested in Manulife. CIBC making a new high yesterday. No change in trend there. No change in trend for Whitecap. Still on a buy signal here. No change in trend for Cenovus. Cenovus has hit our next price target of 23.44. So hopefully you locked in some profits there. And then Baytech still on a buy signal here. No change in trend, trying to break out to new highs. And then last up, we're looking at Barrick, down 26 cents yesterday, closing at the previous day's low. So no major selling for Barrick. Gold is down last time I checked in the pre-market this morning. So we may see a little pullback in Barrick on Friday. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. Looks like, so far, looks like we're going to see a little selling at the open on Friday morning. It should be a fairly quiet day after we get over those inflation numbers at 8:30. A lot of people will be drifting away during the trading hours, and things should slow down nicely going into the close this afternoon. Enjoy your Friday. Have a great long weekend. And I will be back on Monday with our weekly presentation, and then back on Tuesday morning to look at what happened on Friday.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theyuptrend.com.